Division. Hooters Pro Cup action from Mansfield Motorsports Speedway tonight. It's the Mansfield 250 presented by Hooters Air. Round 5 of the Northern Division of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series. 36 cars are on the grid. Hello, everybody. I'm Gene Crane alongside Scott Sutherland, and down on pit road, Stephen Cox to cover all the action. It's an unusual day.
Well, the Aaron Sales Elite Weather Report's going to give it to us. It's 78 degrees. 86 on the racetrack, but the humidity's been killer all day long, Gene.
Well, Scott, at least we got a full session of practice in earlier today. Top stories, rain, and more rain. That has been the story all season long. It was predicted to have rain here in the area. However, we did get practice, and Advanced Auto Parts pole qualifying completed earlier in the day. Saw several cars practicing below the track record. Stephen Cox is with our pole sitter.
A very strange racetrack today. We had rain last night, washed away the rubber on the track, a lot of very hot sun today, but one guy figured it out. In fact, you guys were pretty good right off the trailer, weren't you, Shelby?
Yeah, we were. We came here and tested last week and had a really successful test, and the racetrack changed quite a bit today throughout practice, and we chased it and kind of backed up a little bit and figured it was going to cool back down tonight, but have a really good car. The track slowed down qualifying, and I didn't think it was going to be that good of a lap, but I was surprised. But anyway, we're on the pole, and there's been a whole lot of hard work to get to this point. I got to thank my dad, Eddie Kelly, the crew chief, and all the guys that come over at night to the shop and help us get this thing ready. This is only our third time out, and we're pretty proud to have it on the pole.
Well, 48 cars took time during practice earlier today, but there were some cars that didn't make tonight's race, including Crabtree and Denoshek. One notable mention, Joe Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he's in the points chase for the Northern Series. You hate to see him blow an engine and not make it.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, Hooters girls from Mentor and Toledo, Ohio, giving a rounding response to the crowd as the cars fire up and get ready to go here for 250 laps.
Well, there's a lot of teams ready to go. It's been a long, hot day, and now you're ready to go racing. Let's take a look at Mansfield Motor Speedway. A great little half-mile racetrack, good banking. You're going to see the second group's going to really work in. A lot of them guys, that's going to be their primary group. They're going to move up on the racetrack, get great runs off the corner. Pit road is nice and wide open, and it's really easy to get in and out. So this all comes down to the driver and the crew chief. Where can I run my race car? Find that line that makes it work best for me.
Field is set, and off in the distance, some of the damage from a tornado that hit here several weeks ago, not causing any problems for us, however, this weekend.
That was the temporary grandstand that was set up just before the Craftsman truck racer was here. The tornado come in and wiped them out, and they had to start all over again. Tough on this racetrack.
Let's take a look at your naturally fresh starting grid. Shelby Howard misses the track record by just under a tenth of a second. He'll be joined on the outside by Joel Kaufman. Clay Rogers coming in after an 8th-place run at Texas last night. He'll start alongside point leader Benny Gordon in this Northern Division. Row number 3, Southern Division point leader Shane Huffman starts alongside the rookie, 15-year-old Joey Logano in the 51 car. Row number 4, Mark McFarland, another Southern invader, joined by Michael Rich. Still yet another Southern Division driver, 7 in total here for tonight's race. Row number 5, Mike Laughlin Jr. Couldn't stand it, was going to take this race off. He's back in action. Gary St. Amant starts the 11 alongside. Row number 6, Marty Lindley. The 16 car, he'll start alongside Jeff Agnew, both these drivers in 4. Row number 7, we'll see Martin Esbit, Northern Division campaigner for 2005, and a winner just a few races ago in the South, Jody Lavender in car 84. For Cheryl Theriault, good qualifying effort for the 86 car. She'll start on the inside of row number 8, and Johnny Rumley on the outside in the 8 car. Tim Beatty Jr., off of a good run at Jennerstown, will start inside row 9, and A.J. Frank, second place in points, leading in the rookie standing, starts alongside in the 45. Winner the first time the Pro Cup Series raced here at Mansfield, Eric Corbett in the 75 on the inside of row 10, and Danny Sammons on the outside of that row. Toby Porter from the south in car number 13, and Lonnie Rush Jr. in car 71. Keep an eye on that car. They've been improving each and every weekend. Row number 12, Glenn Gall, the second place run here 1 year ago here in this race, and Woody Howard, kind of a surprise. This guy's been towards the front a little more often this year in the 55. DJ Kennington, also a career best run at Jennerstown, inside row 13, and Randy Humphrey on the outside in the 93.
Row 14, Vince Finello, all the way from Georgia. Former track champion here at Mansfield. On the outside, Joe Cata and his hot rod forward.
Row 15, we'll see Sam Pallone in the 48 and Leslie Law in the 68 machine on the outside. Law, a rookie contender here in 2005. Jeff Oakley will take the 13 car from the inside of row 16, and Todd Peck in the 40 car lines up alongside. Row number 17, Jimmy Spencer takes a provisional. He'll start the 36 car on the inside, and Jason Mignon, rookie contender in the 07, on the outside of that row. Final row, Robbie Marhefka and the 12 car to the inside, and Jeremy Miller, another rookie here in 2005, along the outside of that row. Starting to see a hole develop, several cars dropping to the back. Steven, what's up?
5 drivers have lost their starting positions. They'll start at the back of the field. They include Todd Peck, Sam Pallone, A.J. Frank, Clay Rogers, and Jody Lavender. Now, most of those guys were late for the drivers' meeting. However, Jody Lavender had a steering problem in qualifications. Fritz Augustine, who directs USAR and works with the driver, said, okay, we're going to let you fix it. We're going to have to go to the back of the pack.
Yeah, Lavender's guys had to replace the pump that actually provides the pressure going to the steering box. In other words, that's your power steering. When that baby goes out, it's going to be a long night. There's a lot of turning going on at this little short track. They can't live without power steering.
Surprised with a couple of cars in qualifying. On board with Michael Rich, he'll be carrying our Jack Rue Sauces onboard camera tonight. He lines up and gets set to go. Johnny Rumley, always an exciting shot from the 8 car. Rumley seems to always have that act to be right in the middle of the action with that Lucas Oil Chevrolet. Our third on board will be on board the Tim Bainey Jr. machine, the Greased Lightning number 15. And Bainey coming in off of a good run at Jennerstown last race 2 weeks ago.
And Bainey was very good in practice today, and really, he didn't get a great qualifying effort, but I think a lot of that had to do with the change of the racetrack. We'll talk about that more as the night goes on.
Had a report there may have been some problems with that car, possibly an oil line during practice as well. To date, no one has won the Tucson Win for the Pole Award. Can Shelby Howard do it in that number 20 Tony Stewart Smoked Barbecue Sauce Pontiac?
Well, I think Joe Kaufman's sitting in right a better position right here because the outside groove has been better, especially on these starts and restarts. I think you're going to find the outside's going to be a better place to be. So maybe Joe Kaufman's gets the edge in the start of the race here.
Hard to argue with that theory indeed. Field rolling down to the green flag, and in the flag stand from Lincoln Electric, Bobby Del Coco waving the green flag, and we're underway here in Mansfield. From the Advanced Auto Parts pole, it is Shelby Howard asserting himself out front, but right now the battle is Shane Huffman trying to find a way around Joel Kaufman.
And Kaufman's car is really squirrely. He's kind of squirming around on him, but I think that's just low air pressure. They've got to wait for these tires to come up to him. You can see a lot of bumping and banging going on deeper in the field. These guys are really trying to feel their car out. Vince Finello right off the bat.
Right off the bat, the Elite Auto Collision Chevrolet in trouble, along with Leslie Law and the Porticool Ford. Law's car comes to a rest to the outside of turn 3. 68 car really showing a little bit of damage there. Apparently, the 14 backing into the side of that race car. We'll be back with more action from right here at Mansfield Motorsports Speedway and tonight's Mansfield 250 right after these messages.
This telecast of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters Restaurant, the official neighborhood restaurant of USAR. Lucas Oil. Lucas Oil is the worldwide leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants. Miller Lite, the official beer of USAR. Miller Lite. Good call. And by Naturally Fresh. Pour it on with Naturally Fresh salad dressing, sauces, and...
Back at Mansfield Motorsports Speedway, on board with Michael Rich. Number 28, Jack Rue Sauces Ford. He's lined up behind Mike Laughlin Jr. for the restart. Laughlin was going to take this race off, couldn't stand being away. He's here and running in contention right now in the early going.
Well, I think the other part of that is all these Southern drivers are here as well because this is going to be a championship race. If you're going to go ahead and take a race off, this would not be the one. Come here, get some experience. There's a little beat and bang going already here.
Joel Kaufman tried to take a bid to the inside on Shelby Howard. Couldn't make it work, and that opens the door up for Shane Huffman. Huffman has got that second spot. Can he hold on to it? And now Kaufman slipping back into the clutches of the point leader, Benny Gordon. Gordon on the outside, and Scott, that outside line, that middle groove through the corner seems to be the faster way.
Yeah, your car goes in, you let it go ahead and slide up a little bit, then you get a great run off the corner. The guy pinned down on the bottom, very difficult to get that bite to finish the pass.
This track seems to have some progressive banking in it, that inside line, although it's strong for the entrance and center of the corner, getting off the corner seems to be the equalizing factor.
Yeah, a little bit, it takes away the banking, so that's really hard to get those rear tires to bite and get up off the corner. You like to be in that higher groove, and you can really get a good run off the corner from that point.
Joel Kaufman settles into the fourth position, now taking that wide line. Mark McFarland in that Winfuel Chevrolet, the 32 car, and some smoke deeper in the field. Looks like Toby Porter's 13 car might be having a little bit of difficulty to tighten. Industrial Ford
riding along with Johnny Rumley in the Lucas Oil car, and you can see these guys are going to move up. He's trying to move to the bottom to make a good run off. Really hard to do.
Riding along with Rumley, and let's listen in to Tim Bainey.
You're good, Timmy. Keep running like that, buddy. Reach your rhythm.
As you can see, 10 points coming into this event. Bainey riding behind Rumley as they try to work through traffic. Here's a battle for second.
Well, the key thing there, the spotter was telling Bainey, find your rhythm, find your rhythm. This is very much a rhythm racetrack. You want to hit every mark. Here's a guy that can try to make a run at the bottom. I don't know if he can finish it.
Huffman from the outside powers back up and holds off the challenge of Benny Gordon. This is what Shelby Howard wants to see. He can sit out there and tool along all by himself. Let these two guys behind him race.
Well, at the same point, these guys are kind of wearing their tires out. They're really abusing their tires at doing this, trying to race side by side to get the position. But if you're going to make a jump, you got to do it early, because as these things start wearing out, get a little bit of tire wear, it's harder and harder to pass.
Joel Kaufman still rides that fourth position. Perhaps he's in the best spot right now to go to school as to where each of these drivers finds a quicker line and may be able to get himself back to the front. The 44 car riding in fourth, and right now that 32 car McFarland is not really turning up the wick. He was the quickest car in practice. He was quicker than the track record by 2/10, but when it came down to Advanced Auto Parts pole qualifying, he was slower than the track record by 2/10.
Well,
4/10 of a second difference.
Yeah, that's what happens when the racetrack changes just a little bit. You miss it, but they were set up for a good long run. I think that's where you'll see it on Mark McFarland. Benny Gordon showed you how to get around by just a little bit of bump and maybe a little nudge. If that's the way you're going to do it, you've got to finish the pass and go ahead and go on by.
Mansfield Motorsports Speedway, one of the venues in those 5 championship races that will decide the Hooters Pro Cup Series championship, and that's why we see a lot of these Southern drivers here this weekend trying to get some track time, build their notebook up a little bit for the return in October and championship action. Leader Shelby Howard already starting to work some traffic, closes in on the 18 of Jeremy Miller. The Get Industries Chevrolet dives to the inside. Lets that leader get by. Kaufman starting to turn up the wick a bit in the 44 car. He's closed in on Huffman.
Yeah, I think Shane Huffman was moving around the racetrack, trying to find a different line around the racetrack. Shelby Howard's got a miracle of Benny Gordon right now. The lap traffic slowed down his momentum. He couldn't get going again, and that allowed Benny Gordon to close the gap.
Shelby Howard had to work his way around the 40 of Todd Peck, the GLR Investments Chevrolet. And here's a pretty spirited battle right now. Jeff Agnew and Mike Laughlin Jr., the 7 and the 73 going at it right now. Laughlin, that Titan Industrial Ford, told me earlier, he said, I set out Jennerstown and I was supposed to not come race here in Mansfield. We had other work in the shop I had to do. He said, instead, I decided I got to get back to the racetrack.
Well, Jeff Agnew started 12. He's really the car that, so far, that's been able to advance positions, and he's been doing it on that bottom group. How long can he keep doing that, though, Gene, without burning his tires up?
Agnew in that Ford took over the reins of a Ford automobile back at Indianapolis Raceway Park and promptly put it into victory lane. Right now working on lap traffic as they work deeper in the field. The 12 car Robbie Marhefka, the Clark Chevrolet, they'll get by him, and Agnew from the inside is able to work around Laughlin by using Marhefka as a pick. Battle for the lead back to turn 1.
Well, Benny Gordon did this with Shane Huffman. He worked him, and then made a great run on the bottom. But the thing is, he had to stay there for about 3 laps before he finally cleared him. I don't know if he can afford to do that. He'll have to make it quick, or his tires are going to be cooked.
This particular car that Benny Gordon's on board, we documented in the actually the second, third, and fourth race of the season. It was their own in-house chassis. They've gone back using the Hess chassis here this week with the Predator Performance engine underneath the hood. Right now, it's getting the job done. They're closing in on Mignon, Jason Mignon in the 7 car. Jugular energy drink Pontiac stays to the inside, top 2 off the corner, and Shane Huffman has been able to reel in the leaders along with Joel Kaufman.
Shelby Howard may be just backing up just a little bit. Maybe his car, the tires are starting to grease up a little bit. When you're set up for a short run, that might be the situation where you sit on the pole, but then you start getting a little bit loose. Benny Gordon got a great run off the corner this time.
Gordon down into the corner in turn 3, slides alongside, body slam, and Shelby Howard up the racetrack. Benny Gordon will take over the advantage, leaves the door open for Shane Huffman. Huffman also creases a fender on the side of the 20 car.
Well, 8 tires hold better than 4 is all I can say to you. Go in there. You know that you cannot stay down there for a long time. So go in. He makes a great run in there. Makes a little bit of contact. Upsets Shelby's car a little bit. Finishes the pass.
Caution. Under caution. Second caution of the day. Spin by Toby Porter, the Titan Industrial Ford. A little bit of damage on the front of that car. However, he did not mess up those GT stripes on those Ford Tauruses. So Porter was running 13th at the time. Kind of a disappointing qualifying effort for Toby Porter. Porter back underway, but not before the second caution of the night has been shown here at Mansfield.
Well, Toby Porter and his crew have already had a long day. The Titan Industrial car was involved with Marhevka in practice today, so they were just lucky to be back out on the racetrack to get in this event.
Don't forget to sign up for the Team Hooters Challenge. You could win $500.
And this week's lucky winner, Bob Marsh from Mansfield, Ohio. He selects Mark McFarland as his choice to be in victory lane in tonight's Mansfield 250. Racing action will continue here at Mansfield in just a moment. Coming back to green after the second caution of the night, leader Benny Gordon on the brake. He'll jump by about a car length. He's got Huffman on the rear bumper of Huffman is the 20 car of Shelby Howard. Howard trying to look to the inside, nothing doing there after he was bypassed from the lead. And lots of heavy traffic deeper in the field.
Clear. Good job, buddy. Good job with all these guys are all lap cars and bottom here.
That's his spotter letting him know that he's got to stay on the outside groove, because if you go down to the inside, even though it might have a nice opening, that slower traffic's going to keep you held down there. You can't afford to be caught down that bottom lane right now, Gene.
Let that outside line bypass you, and it will be a long night here in Mansfield. Back on board with Michael Rich, continuing to follow the 7 car of Mike Laughlin Jr. Here's a guy that'd like to get back to victory lane. It's been since May of '99 when Mike Laughlin won what has been his first and only Pro Cup Series victory. Had it, well, 1 year ago in the IRP. Looked like he had it in the bag, and a lap car had trouble, came up and collected him. He's looking to do it all over again right now, watching that traffic from that 8th position. Back up front, Gordon still feeling the pressure from Shane Huffman, the 2-point leaders in each division of the North and Southern divisions here in action and battling for the lead tonight.
And Shane Huffman kind of had the advantage here. He can choose which line he wants to and just kind of work the racetrack. He's got a couple of car lanes between him and Shelby Howard. He can work the racetrack, try to find something around Benny Gordon. Benny Gordon can't afford to make a mistake right here.
And a short week for that team. A quick turnaround after winning the race at USA International Speedway that had been rolled over to a Sunday afternoon event. They had to get their work done and get here to Mansfield in just 3-4 short days.
And you go back to the top of the show, you talk about the rain. The rain affected that show down in Lakeland. It was supposed to be a Saturday night event, went into a Sunday because of the rain. A very hot Sunday afternoon. Really affected those drivers from down there.
Certainly did. A lot of dehydration after that event. Meanwhile, up front, Benny Gordon still feeling the pressure from Huffman, but Gordon knows his way around this racetrack. He won both events here in 2004.
And he's picking up right where he left off because his car looks very solid. He's using the racetrack to his advantage. He goes in at the bottom, kind of lets the car drift up, makes a kind of a diamond, if you will, and comes off the corner under wide open throttle.
Trying to take care of those tires further back to the back. The veteran Gary St. Amant putting the pressure on the rookie, Joey Logano. Logano started 6th, has dropped back to 9th, and looks like he's just riding right now, Scott.
Well, he's got a big lesson to be learned right here, because Gary St. Amant also knows his way around this racetrack. And maybe the thing to do is let Gary go and then follow him, but right now he's just kind of holding his own.
Gary St. Amant looking to turn this season around. They've not been extremely happy with the results of the Jegs.com Chevrolet. The 11 car looking to step up, although they're 5th in points coming into this event. They'd like to put that car in the winner's circle once again. Right behind St. Amant, Marty Lindley in that 16 car, that Hooters Air Ford. That car has been stout on several occasions throughout the day. And during practice earlier today, I was really watching that 16 car, and that car really rolled to the center of the corner.
Well, he's got Jimmy King as his crew chief helping on that, and Jimmy really understands racing, and you know that you don't have to have a great car. You want to make a good qualifying effort, but to win races, you got to have a good race package, and I think that's what these guys worked on all day long, what you were talking about.
$1,000 on the line at each race for the Advanced Auto Parts Pole Award, but $10,000 plus is the size of that check if you're in victory lane at the end of one of these events. Yeah, the bigger numbers seem to attract the strategy a little more intently by those crew chiefs. Plus, add to it, cars qualifying in a race-ready condition as they have for many, many years right here in the Pro Cup Series.
I was just watching that battle between Logano and St. Amant, and St. Amant could get his nose under, but the youngster would jump off the corner and keep that lead.
Strong race car for Joey Logano. Had a decent run and really showed well in practice, not only here at Mansfield, but over at Jennerstown Speedway 2 weeks ago. Still Logano inside that top 10, trying to hold off these two veterans right behind him. Look further back and saw a glimpse of Johnny Rumley, the 8 car. There's another team, that Boyd Salt race team with the Lucas Oil sponsorship on the side of their Chevrolet, really looking for a change. Clay Rogers from the back of the pack. Several cars had to go to the back of the pack, including Jody Lavender. Now, Lavender wants to do what Shane Huffman did 1 week ago. Had an a power steering pump problem and went out, got it fixed, and won the race. He did that at USA International Speedway. Lavender would like to do the same thing tonight.
Well, it's going to be a little bit tougher order here, I think, the way you have to pass. How about Michael Rich putting a move on Mike Laughlin Jr.? The big man still on the outside. He can barely catch him up there. Oh, problem with Shelby Howard. His car's backing up. Must be a tire going down.
It looked like the car wanted to turn. That could indeed be a right front tire down on Howard's car.
Whoa,
everybody
spinning about him.
That is Toby Porter down on the inside. Saw just a glimpse of him to the inside of turn 2. So the second time Toby Porter has gone out or spun around tonight to bring out the caution flag. Caution number 3. And
a huge break for this car. He can get in with that flat tire because Toby Porter brought out that caution. Great break for Shelby Howard.
Howard on pit road. Right behind him was A.J. Frank in the 45 car, the second place in points holder right now, headed to his pit as well. And Howard bringing that car around. Long pit road here, Scott.
Well, you actually enter in turn 2, so you have to come through 3 and 4 and all the way around. And remember, he's in the very front pit stall because he was our pole sitter. Thank goodness for him. There's no other damage. Just looks like it's a tire gone down.
Could have happened with some of that rubbing, although most of that was to the left side. In fact, Stephen Cox is waiting for Shelby Howard down in his pit.
Well, the problem on this car is self-evident. The right front on Shelby Howard's number 20 pole-sitting machine. So they're going to bring it in, replace the right side tires as quickly as possible, and send him back out. But, you know, look at the scuff marks on the left. They can't do just 2 tires, and the team knows it. They immediately jump over to the left side. They see the same thing we do. Big scuff marks on the BF Goodrich G-Force TA radials, both sides of the race car. So this will cost Shelby track position. It will not cost him a lap yet.
Well, they did a great job keeping him on the lead lap, but that was his 4 tires. That's the only 4 he's going to get tonight. Wow, I don't know if I'd want to use them this early.
It's early, but we'll see what happens. We'll be back to Mansfield. The Mansfield 250 presented by Hooters Air, getting set for a restart after a third caution here in the early going this evening. Seeing the 66 of Benny Gordon out front as the pace car heads to pit road. Lap cars dropping down to the inside. Shelby Howard came to pit road, but Scott, I got to think that's a little early.
Well, they can't make it on fuel window. They had to come in and get tires. We know that, but I think they're going to have to make another stop, if nothing else, just for fuel.
Or maybe put some of those original tires they started the race on back on the race car. Benny Gordon up to the gearbox, completes lap number 63 as they go back to green. And Scott, In Pro Cup Series racing, 8 tires are permitted. These PF Goodrich G-Force radial tires have 8 tires provided to each team to run the event, or they start the race on 4 in the pit. But you can come back in and put the original tires back on the car if you need to.
Well, he'll be able to use everything but the right front, obviously. But yes, you can get those left sides back on. You'll be able to use that right rear. And the thing is, you just got to be careful, though. You know, you're all the way around. We've got cars all the way around the racetrack right now because basically with a single file start, he's got to be careful coming back through the field. We know he's got a great race car.
Only a handful of cars on the inside. Lavender up in smoke. Jody Lavender, the H&R Block Ford, heading to pit road. Caution has not been shown, so Lavender trying to lift the pit road. It's now being shown, apparently concerned for some oil or fluid put down on the speedway. Lavender makes that left-hand turn. This is a tough break for Lavender. Had a long race at USA. Short week up here to try to get some experience and comes up a little bit shy.
Well, I've got to think this may have a lot to do with that power steering problem. They had to do it right out here at pit road. You're trying to do it in a hurry, and if a line came loose or the hose can come off, the hose end can come off that hose. They're afraid to steal lines, but still, things like that do happen.
Lavender, they're going to look under the hood of the 84 car, has brought that car to the attention of the crew. Stephen Cox is on his way over there. In fact, just about to arrive at the 84 in Jody Lavender. Stephen, what's up?
Jody, what do you have to do to make a motor go 250 laps, guy?
I don't know. You know, Jeremy Upchurch builds a good motor, and actually, I don't believe we had an engine failure tonight. Looks like we lost power steering. We had a problem in qualifying and put a new pump on it, thought we had it fixed, but I guess not. We had a great car tonight. We drove from, had to go to the rear and drove up almost into the top 10 in a matter of maybe 20 laps. So we had a car definitely capable of running the top 5, if not winning the race. So, yeah, I hate it for us, but we got some, we know we're going to be good here when we come back to the championship.
You know, that's got to be a big relief for you to know that an engine is not going to be the problem this time.
No, definitely. You know, we had a string of bad luck with the motors, but lately our motors have been awesome. So, knock on wood, I hope this wasn't a motor.
Well, after that hard-fought victory over at A Speedway, they picked up a lot of momentum, and I thought they would carry on. And I think it has. It's just little things like that will really get a driver and a crew going.
Quite an exciting win. Fans of the Hooters Pro Cup Series get a chance to get on the racetrack and see the cars and get autographs for their favorite stars here in the Pro Cup Series. And you can also sign up for the Hooters Pro Cup Series Fan Club. Go to USARfans.com. Sign up for discount tickets to the races and souvenirs and a lot more. We'll be back. Benny Gordon getting set for a restart as the field circulates behind the Hare Auto Group pace car here in the Pro Cup Series. Set for a restart. Gordon on that outside line. We see that McFarland and Agnew have made their way into the top 5 after the stops by the 20 car of Shelby Howard. And also coming to pit road was A.J. Frank. They've got a long way to work their way through the field.
Yeah, and coming in second in points here, that's big for that team. You know what, after missing the driver's meeting, going all the way to the rear, this is the second time he's going to the back. They just need to try to make their way to the front. A top 10 finish right now would be great for that team.
That team is struggling here this weekend. A.J. Frank and Clay Rogers both in competition this weekend. The team fields a car in each division. One with A.J. in the north, one with Clay in the south. Got both cars running tonight, and both cars just can't quite hit the mark.
And one more little thing, Clay Rogers was at that truck race in Texas last night, only 3 hours of sleep. That might play a little bit as the night goes down here as well.
Change in position, Agnew takes fourth away from Mark McFarland. McFarland in that 32 car, they were very strong in practice, looking to put it all together and post a good finish. Finish has been the problem with that 32 car lately.
It has. It's a very strong race car, very good in practice, qualifies great, but they just want to try to put that last little nail. The fastest car on the racetrack, I think, going watching this thing, has got to be the 73 car, Jeff Agnew. The only guy that can drop to the bottom, make a pass, and get back up and keep on digging.
Agnew can drop that car to the bottom. We see him do it at many, many racetracks. He likes to drop the car off onto the apron, the flat part of the racetrack, and get the car to turn. Agnew might have something here. We'll see if he continues to do so, or if he's got to move back up into that middle groove. Back to this battle just inside the top 10. Logano still holding off St. Amant and Lindley with a whole host of cars behind them. Here's a look at that battle right now from Johnny Rumley's perspective.
There's a lot of talent all the way around this racetrack. I'm telling you, there's 20 guys out here that could win this race. They all look like they're running about the same speed. They're just out of position.
And Scott, that's something else. We look at this Pro Cup Series point standings here, 4 races into 2005, and you look at the top 10, and there's plenty of cars in there you expect to see in victory lane. What really is noticeable here for the new season of 2005 is that when you look outside the top 10, there are some names there you also expect to see in victory lane. There's a lot of strong race cars here in the north.
There's some really good cars here tonight. Well, this field is the best we've seen at least this year, but I can't remember a field this good in the Hooters Pro Cup action.
A precursor to October and championship series action for the Pro Cup Series. St. Amant right now has got his hands full. Looks like Lindley's car starting to roll and get a pretty good run on the Checks.com Chevy. Look at the sole Canadian in the Pro Cup Series ranks here this year. The SM Freight 17 of DJ Kennington. He's had a pretty good year.
The guys work so hard. I mean, we've learned so much. These cars are totally different than anything I've ever been used to. And I think basically we're just getting used to the cars, getting used to the guys around here. And hopefully we can just keep creeping our way to the front and try to have top 10 finishes every week. And I think that's about where we are right now, the top 10 car. And maybe we can try, if we learn a little more yet, maybe we can get to the top 5.
Well, I hang around North Carolina a good bit these days, and I just love to listen to DJ Kennington talk because it tickles me to hear that northern voice.
DJ Kennington splitting his time with the Northern Division of the Pro Cup Series as well as the CASCAR Series back in Canada. He only missed one of these Northern Division races, as he told me a couple of weeks ago. But still a third-place run at Chinnerstown and 8th in points coming into this event. We ride along with Michael Rich, really sawing on that wheel.
Well, you can see how flat the racetrack is down here at the bottom, and that's where you have to go to pass. You're going to drop all the way bottom. Oh, you felt him get a little bit loose. He can't move up because that green car of Mike Laughlin Jr. is still on the outside.
Did he get loose, or did they bounce off each other, Scott?
I think that's just a little bit of loose. You saw him grab it, and here he go. He made the pass.
So Rich able to get by Laughlin this time. Made it work going into the corner, not necessarily coming off the turn.
Well, what he did is he just got down that bottom groove, and he kept working and working, and finally he just let the car slide up. He seems a little bit quicker. Now that he's in that desired line, the car goes in well, turns, and gets a great run off the corner.
Starting to see a few raindrops on the lens of our rooftop cameras here at Mansfield. Just exactly what we don't need to see. And perhaps that's what's going on with Huffman as he puts the pressure on. Vinnie Gordon once again. They've got lap traffic directly ahead and Joel Kaufman in tow. Kaufman has recovered nicely. Looks like he's just saving that race car.
Well, Vinnie Gordon going around Jimmy Spencer there at the bottom. Now Marhefke at the top. He's going to pick his way through traffic. That allows these guys to catch up. Kaufman's car looks like it's picked up a little bit of steam.
Robbie Marhefke stays on the high side to jam up the leaders just a little bit. Looks like Kaufman gave him a little bit of an extra incentive to get out of the way. Doesn't have much time to recover because Agnew putting the pressure on Kaufman. That's a battle for third about to develop.
Yeah, Jeff Agnew's all over the 44 car of Kaufman, and we know how fast his car is, and he just said, guys, give me a chance, give me a lane, I'm going to take it.
Watching as Huffman able to just pull the inside and take a peek in the middle of the corner, but just not enough forward bite to make the run at Vinnie Gordon.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gene. You can roll in, make the car roll through the middle, but you really got to, we got a caution.
Yeah, we've got another caution, a couple of cars in trouble. It's like Joe Gaeta pulling away with the 42 along with Jeremy Miller. Also involved the 45 of A.J. Frank. Frank's car going for a spin out of turn 4 to bring out this caution. The American Iron Horse Ford back underway. No contact with the concrete, so it would appear for A.J. Frank. Let's take another look at it as it unfolded through turns 3 and 4 right in the middle of the corner.
That's a little bit of contact between A.J. Frank and Shelby Howard. Remember, these guys are trying to work their way back to the front. They were all the way down in the bottom trying to get through lap traffic. What a tough way. That's a heck of a spin, and nobody clobbers him.
Carl almost came back up atop the outside wall as he tried to recover. A.J. Frank held on to it. Heading out to break, we'll ride along with Tim Bainey Jr. under caution here at Mansfield. Pit road action here at Mansfield. Most of the leaders peel off and come to pit road. St. Amant's already in his pit. Shane Huffman along with Mark McFarland bringing their cars in. Right side BF Goodrich G-Force radials for Huffman. Meanwhile, a little further up, the 44 of Joel Kaufman has come in for service. Right sides on that car. Steven is there.
Joel Kaufman comes down pit row, and this should be a standard stop. The car was just a touch loose on them earlier. They're trying to drive the car just a little higher on the racetrack to accommodate that. This will be a 4-tire stop with fuel in as well. They kill the engine. Joel Kaufman gets it started again. He's having a hard time getting around the 97 car of Salmons, but he is off pit row.
First car off pit road was Mark McFarland.
Well, we've seen that before, man. That crew gets it done on pit road.
Things certainly picked up on pit road, but Vinnie Gordon stayed on the racetrack.
Todd Shelby came in, Joel came in. You guys decided to stay out, and I watched your decision-making process, and I wasn't sure if you were happy.
Here we go again, right? The Predator Performance Board. We're running strong. We feel like that there's going to be a lot of lap cars late. It's just a tough decision at that time, and the safest thing to do is to pit. But, hey, we're rolling the dice to win the race.
Comes in as the point leader in and out of pit road. That Shelby Howard gained 14 spots. Joe Gaeta 8 spots. Those that lost spots on pit road. Johnny Rumley 9 positions on pit road.
Yeah, Kaufman lost 6. But remember, those guys, Shelby Howard only took fuel because he got in the tires earlier. A couple of them guys only got 2 tires. Benny Gordon stayed on the racetrack. Michael Rich stayed on the racetrack. I'm telling you, this kind of field right here, it's going to be tough to pass no matter how fast you are.
And A.J. Frank was on pit road just a little bit ago.
Do you know what Academy Award nominated film that was shot right here in Mansfield? I'll tell the answer as soon as you get back. In 1994, the movie Shawshank Redemption was filmed right here in Mansfield, just a mile away from the Speedway.
All right, you are Ohio State Reformatory, the site of Shawshank Redemption. And that's looking for a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's Vinnie Gordon. He elects to stay on the racetrack. He is your race leader. Several other cars behind him did not come to pit road. 5th place on back, Shelby Howard in the 20 car came to pit road, fuel only, and got back on the racetrack. On the break, it's Vinnie Gordon, as he has all day long, out in front. But Michael Rich of that Jack Bruce Sauce's Ford now giving chase down in turn 3.
And it surprised me. I know Michael Rich had a really good race car, but Mike Laughlin was just a little bit off. I thought he would get that opportunity to make corrections with his race car and take advantage of that. But Vinnie Gordon, you can't argue with performance, but yet track position is going to be so critical at this racetrack.
20-plus race car still on the lead lap at this juncture. 100 laps now complete here at Mansfield. Track position, an important commodity. Perhaps these guys hoping for an opportunity to have not so many cars on the lead lap when they finally do come to pit road. Get fresh tires and a load of Sunoco race fuel.
Todd Gordon alluded to the fact there may be a lot of cars not on the lead lap late in the race, but that doesn't really take away the fact you're going to have to work hard to get around it, because these aren't just lap cars that roll over and die. They might only be a 10th off. Very difficult to pass as well, along with these guys on the lead lap.
We had a pretty good battle developing right now with A.J. Frank, rookie contender and leading rookie contender here so far in this Northern Division. He has got on that rear bumper Shelby Howard in the 20 car. Then behind them, a pretty good battle. Looks like Huffman getting a little squirrely up off the corner as he tries to find a way around Mark McFarland. That's going to be a tough order to try to get by that Winfuel Chevrolet. Here comes Agnew. You talked about him earlier being the fastest car on the racetrack. And Scott, it's hard to doubt that comment.
Well, I think what he's got to do, he's got to be patient right now. There's a long ways to go. Jeff Agnew loves to just stay on the button and work that race car as hard as he can be. He's got to be patient. He's just too early to go. We got 145 laps left to go. You've got to take care of your stuff.
Well, he's going to take care of business right now. Going to the inside of Huffman. Can he complete the pass? Agnew's got a lot of confidence. This Doug Weddle-led team down on pit road, able to get the stop executed in a fine manner. And they put a good race car underneath Jeff Agnew. Add to it this year, bringing Elvin Rector into the mix, helping them with a little bit of strategy and some spotting work as well. Well, coming up, the Hooters International Swimsuit Pageant. You can see it live June 28th at 7 p.m. only at your local Hooters restaurant. And right now, pretty exciting action on the racetrack.
Yeah, with a little bit of raindrops. You can see it in the camera there. There's a little bit of rain, and you can see that some of these guys are slipping around more than others. Jeff Agnew's got it, though. He's going to get after it. He's going to stay after it and try to get back to the front.
Scott, is that more of a function of seeing the drops on the windshield and knowing you've got to get going and get to the front in case this race were to stop short? Or is it really affecting the characteristic of the racetrack?
I think it's changing the racetrack, along with the fact that I think the crews know in the back of their mind that, hey, halfway is lap 125. Get as far to the front as you can with raindrops falling.
16 laps away from halfway, and that $1,000 Lucas Oil bonus. Pretty spirited battle between Agnew and Huffman. Two former champions of this Pro Cup Series going at it with Coffin all over their rear bumper in that 44 car.
You know, I think Joel Coffin's in a pretty good position because he can kind of fill the hole of either the low line or the high line and just take away position from one of these cars.
Well, the concern for weather has certainly ratcheted up the competition just a bit. Steven, how are things down there?
I want you guys to keep an eye on the sky because down here on pit road, fellas, it's raining. Not much, just sprinkles right now, but there is precipitation. Let's see how long this thing lasts and how long the weather will hold for us.
Well, all the haulers are outside of the pit area, so all they have down there is just their pit boxes. But if you had a computer with radar on it, you'd be the most looked at guy right now.
Indeed you would. Agnew almost had the lap car of Jeremy Miller hold up his assault of Shane Huffman. This battle just inside the top 10 for 8th to 9th position. Agnew continues to work to the inside. He's the master at the inside line. Lays a little fender on the side of the 81 car. The Knights Company Ford of Huffman still unable to complete that pass.
Yeah, he needs to get back up and cool his tires back off. He was really working the car down on that bottom groove, abusing those tires just a little bit. But you notice what he does do, when Jeff Agnew gets up alongside you, he puts his right front fender right next to you, doesn't allow you a lot of room. He's going to make that pass.
Who's coming into the picture? Clay Rogers trying to climb his way into the top 10. Leader continues to be Benny Gordon with Michael Rich giving chase. The crew watching Gordon and his progress. We'll be back to Mansfield. On board with Michael Rich trying to run down Benny Gordon as we close in on the halfway point. Gordon, Rich, Laughlin, along with A.J. Frank, stayed on the racetrack. They were your first four car. Oh, and more trouble. Sam Pallone in trouble, and they're still spinning out of turn 4. Joe Gaeta involved. Looks like Tim Bainey Jr. got a piece of it. See the nose of another car going by, Randy Humphrey. Looks like some heavy damage to the right front of the Great Clips Ford.
And unfortunately, I was looking down. I was looking straight down into turn 4 when Sam Pallone came up off the corner, and evidently the right front went down and went straight into the wall, and that was a hard hit. Sam Pallone was running very, very good, just trying to get back on that lead lap.
Has had some good races of late, but just have not been able to transfer them into good finishes. Hero Vegetable Chevrolet comes to a stopover in turn 2. Let's take another look at it as Sam Pallone climbs out of the race car, takes some of that safety equipment off as he gets out of the race car. This youngster is still looking for a good run here in 2005. Take another look and, oh, that hurt.
Yeah, I saw him come up off turn 4. The car was running really good and went straight to the wall, and then everything breaks loose. Joe Gay gets turned around. 93 car Randy Humphrey gets hit.
Eric Corbett back there.
Yeah, man, tough break for these guys.
You see the damage on the front of Eric Corbett. Larry and Son Heating and Air Ford really peeled the right front headlight door open on that race car and knocked some of the bodywork loose on the nose of that car. So that team will have a lot of work, and that's a team that really has got a strong race car. Their luck just has not been with them.
And here's another thing. You can have a great race car. You came in, you did your pit stop, you made your changes. Now we're ready to go back racing. You get caught up in something that wasn't your fault, and it really was nobody's fault. Sam Pallone came up off the corner, knocked the tire down, and that just started a melee of problems for everybody. You can see there's a bungee cord out on the racetrack. These guys are going to go around. They're all in the bottom groove. They're getting ready to come down pit road. They need to make their changes and get ready for the last part of this race. I think if Mike Laughlin, Michael Rich, they make the right changes, they'll be able to run with Benny Gordon.
Let's look at how we got here, and a hard crash at turn 4.
Yeah, and everybody, the next two guys get by, and Joe Gaeta can see him, but I don't think Eric Corbett could actually see. He's paying attention to the 42 car in front of him. Joe Gaeta kind of lifted a little bit. Poor old Eric Corbett just kind of drove it, and then everybody else. The smoke was everywhere. They didn't know where to go. Spotters trying to help them through, but, man, there's debris everywhere on the front straightaway. You got to be careful of that. They're trying to get Eric Corbett's car back together. A little bit of tape, some bungee cords. Come on, let's go get it.
The field is under caution. The pits have not been officially open. Corbett came down pit road, so he'll get a tail end the longest line penalty before this next restart, but that's the least of his worries right now.
Yeah, Sam Pallone sitting right there at the entrance of pit road, and that's right there as you enter or come off turn 2. That's where you have to drop down to come into the pits. So it's kind of waiting. We got to get that guy cleared out of the way so we can come down Pitt Road and everybody can get their stops and get ready for the last part of this race.
Will not only make you the entrance, but also make you the exit out of turn 1 to come back onto the racetrack along Pit Road.
Well, you got to wonder, is Benny Gordon going to stay out on the racetrack? He's the only guy not to come down to Pit Road. These guys, Michael Rich, Mike Laughlin, A.J. Frank, they've all committed to come to Pit Road. You wonder how long Benny Gordon going to stay out here. Is he going to try to run another 50, 60 laps? What, you know, I wonder what's going on down there.
The leaders coming to Pit Road, or at least most of the leaders. Michael Rich, Mike Laughlin, we see A.J. Frank coming in, Johnny Rumley also coming in. On the racetrack, Benny Gordon is going to stay out and presumably come across start-finish to lead at halfway, but Stephen Cox is waiting for pit stop.
He is tied for 5th on the all-time USAR Pro Cup win list, and he's taken a huge gamble right here. Michael Rich, with 10 wins to his career credit in Pro Cup, comes in to take on tires. They do not like the way this car is handling going into the corner. They say that they've got to loosen the car up on entry, so watch for adjustments there as they have problems on the right side of the race car. Very slow there on the right side. Now they move to the left side tires, and I'll tell you, Scott, this is a big gamble. The rain is really starting to come down now. We've got quite a bit of sprinkling down here on Pit Road. We're on lap 125 right now, but he chose to give up that second place spot to come in, so he's gambling. It's not going to rain anymore.
Well, he had to take this gamble. He had to get to Pit Road and get those 4 tires. Benny Gordon just took halfway.
So Gordon headed to his pit stall, but not before picking up the $1,000 Lucas Oil Halfway Leader Award. He has led 98 laps of the 5 lead changes we've seen so far.
Benny Gordon has waited until lap 126 to make this stop as well. And again, we have sprinkling down here on Pit Road. They take on the right side tires. Now they're working on the left side tires. They're going to take on fuel as well to be able to go the distance. They like the car, except in the center of the corners. They're going to move the track car just 1 notch down and get him back out.
Well, that was a great stop on Pit Road. The problem is they didn't have to race anybody. They were by themselves. Good job, you guys. Let's see if he can make his way back to the front.
More action coming from Mansfield. Shelby Howard stays on the racetrack, inherits the lead, and brings the field back to green with Mark McFarland in that second position, and Howard gets one whale of a restart.
Yeah, Shelby Howard got a great start, but I'm not so sure McFarland's car really got going up on the corner. He's lacking a little bit of horsepower. Wow, look at that move.
Everything that Huffman could do to keep him getting into the back of that 32 car. Huffman gets by, and McFarland starting to drift back through the field. Problems for McFarland. Now Huffman wiggles going to the corner, and Agnew's going to get by.
Did you see that move? He cut that car in the middle and went through between him and Marhefka. What a move by Jeff Agnew.
Agnew on his horse right now. The NJ Hooters Pro Golf Tour Ford marching its way back towards the front. Don't discount, though, we've got Joel Kaufman, that 44 car, rebounding after 2 weeks of engine problems. They are back in the hunt in that Pontiac and looking pretty strong right now.
And right behind them is the 44 car of Clayton Rogers. Just behind them is... Well, you can't cut out Marty Lindley. He's right there. He's in the hunt. He's going to stay in the hunt. But I am still overwhelmed by the 73 car, how good that car cut in the middle of the corner.
McFarland still struggling with that 32 car and still way up to the high side. Kennington's going to get by. Looks like St. Amant is going to mount a charge as well to get by the 32 car. Something is wrong. Could it be a tire going down on McFarland's race car?
Well, no. It goes through the corner fairly decent. He can maintain through the corner. Just when they get to the straightaway, it just doesn't have that zip down the way it did earlier in the race.
Heavy traffic. McFarland now has worked his car to the inside. Woody Howe, little contact for Michael Rich with Joe Gaeta. 3 wide, trying to work their way by Mark McFarland.
Let's see this again. You can see Michael Rich had Joe Gaeta on the bottom. Michael Rich real lucky to keep that thing out of the wall.
Could have been a disaster for Michael Rich now, trying to work his way by the 75 of Corbett. You see McFarland still sliding back through the field. Woody Howard, there's a car that I expected a little more from. They've struggled here today, as have had a couple other drivers as well.
Well, you talk about a struggle, or what's going to be a struggle, is Benny Gordon at 66 making his way back to front. There's 21 cars on the lead lap. They were hoping for a lot less. It's going to be a long night to get back to victory lane.
You know, they waited. They've got fresher tires, but they're going to have to use those tires up to get by a lot of those other race cars.
This is a very difficult racetrack to pass at. We've watched it all night long. But the only guy that really has done a lot is Jeff Agnew has passed a lot of race cars. I don't know. Benny Gordon's got a great horse. I don't know if he can get there.
See what happens. Michael Rich trying to work his way by Woody Howard. Howard in tow and right now following Joe Gaeta down into the corner. Here's McFarland down on pit road. 7th place start for the Southern Division invader. He's racing strictly for the money and the experience. No points for Southern Division drivers here this weekend. They're going to look at that race car. Meanwhile, Woody Howard still has got his hands full, and here comes Benny Gordon. The 66 car dives low on the 28 of Michael Rich.
I think Michael Rich can kind of hold him at bay because of the fact that Woody Howard is right in front of him. Really difficult to keep your car down there for more than 3 or 4 laps. You've got to let it drift up, back up to the top side to cool your tires back off.
Michael Rich still has got his hands full trying to get by Woody Howard. This battle deeper in the field, outside your top 10, and Gaeta was one of those cars involved with the most recent caution. Apparently the damage not too intensive, not hurting the forward progress of this race car. Woody Howard also showing some of the battle scars on the right front of that race car.
Michael Rich trying to use that outside groove, trying to get around Woody Howard, and just trying to find every bit of track. Whoa, hang on.
Ooh, Michael Rich, the outside wall in turn 1. Slapped it pretty good with the left front.
Yeah, it sure did. He just barely got his right sides up into what you would be the marbles, and the race car came around and slapped that left front. That's the danger of these Southern guys coming up here. You heard a really good race car try to get experience.
Well, Michael Rich will have 2 weeks to get the car ready for Myrtle Beach. Let's take another look at it. Off into the corner.
Just got his right sides up just a little bit too high, Gene, and I think the car came around.
Michael Rich pulling away. We've got an onboard look at it as they try to change the tires on pit road. Take a look at it on board.
Yeah, the right rear loses traction and around it comes. That's the big thing. You get right up there. You're trying to use that outside groove. Use all of it. And he just got his right sides up into the marbles.
Sway bar adjustment on Jerry Sademont's 11 car. Also, the hood is up on Joe Gaeta's number 42. Coming up, the Hooters International Swimsuit Pageant. And you can watch it live at your local Hooters. June 28th, 7 p.m. Be there. Join Scott and I as we enjoy all the action. We'll be back to Mansfield right after these messages. Michael Rich brings out the most recent caution, and been the pinball on this machine most of the evening. Bouncing off the levers and the bumpers, this time the concrete. Apparently putting it into Michael Rich's run tonight, had gotten as far as second before his night coming to an end.
Well, Shelby Howard takes the lead, and he gets another great restart with Jeff Agnew in tow. Shelby Howard, we know he got 4 tires early. He got enough gas in it for a little while, but can he make it to the end, Gene?
See what those right side tires do later in the event. Jeff Agnew has been strong from the get-go, and that NGA Hooters Pro Golf Tour Ford really putting the pressure on the Tony Stewart-owned 20 car. Car length separation as they work down the back straightaway. Shane Huffman still in the mix, not too far back, just kind of lurking in the shadows with Joel Kaufman and the 44 of Clay Rogers.
Yeah, you got a 44N and you got a 44S, but Joel Kaufman's kind of been a player in this thing all night long. They just can't shake him.
He's had a stout race car, showed that at the opening race at South Boston, went to Victory Lane at Lonesome Pine, motor problems at IRP and at Jennerstown. Looks like they've got it licked here tonight. That car running strong and just waiting for their opportunity as we close in on lap 149. A little more than 100 laps to go here at Mansfield.
Your Tucson scoring going by, and I saw 9th place was DJ Kennington, followed by 10th. Glenn Galt. Go get him, Glenn.
Glenn Galt with a career best here at Mansfield 1 year ago. And what a variation. Got Joey Logano out there, 15 years of age, and Glenn Galt, well, he's a youngster too.
55?
Only
Wait,
4
separation there. Go get him, Glenn. Go get him.
After that run last year, Glenn Galt looked like he was a 15-year-old youngster there. Had a great run, looking to try to do it again here tonight. Got a tough order, though. He's got some stout race cars ahead of him, including the battle you see right now for the lead, Shelby Howard and Jeff Agnew.
Well, when they did driver introduction tonight, there's 2 guys that got a big cheer. Gary St. Amant and Glenn Galt, kind of hometown favorites. But the guy with the best race car still, I think, is that 73, Jeff Agnew. He can make that car go wherever he wants to on the racetrack. He can start out high, cut it low, and do vice versa. That car is very, very good. If he can clear the 20 car of Howard, I think he's going to set sail.
got plenty of time to get the job done. And that being said, he immediately drives down low and puts a challenge on Howard. Howard slams the door shut. Pretty much a factor of the layout of this Mansfield Motorsports Speedway. That middle groove has been where you want to be all night long.
Well, Jeff Agnew is one of them guys. I've been friends with him for a long time. He's very slow outside the race car, but put him in the race car, patience is not in his vocabulary at that point.
Not at all, and I don't think I want to be on a golf course with him either. He's a pretty good golfer from what I hear, but the crew got one on him this week. They went golfing, and he didn't.
Oh, man. He won't like that. How about this? Marty Lindley gets around Clayton Rogers along with Joey Logano. Right behind him, Martin Nesbitt, a name we haven't mentioned yet tonight.
Nesbitt with a strong run here, trying to turn things around for the 88 team. Got a one win in the Pro Cup Series. That coming at South Boston. Would like to score a second trip to victory circle. Lindley gets by on the high side, and Kaufman drops a position. Drops more than that. He's off the pace somewhat.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Kaufman's car.
Could that be a right rear going down?
It's possible he's got a right side tire because he has really slowed up. Jeff Agnew making his bid for the lead again.
Jeff Agnew drives downstairs, knows he doesn't have much time. If he can't make it work, he's liable not to have room on the high side if Shane Huffman can close the door. Yeah, three-car battle for the lead.
You're exactly right. He's got to finish this move this time because he will not be able to be clear. The 81's going to fill that hole. You've got to finish once you get to that point.
Pancake the side of the fenders down into turn 3. Agnew with a little bit of an advantage up off the corner, but Shelby Howard from the outside lane keeps those ponies wound up a little tighter in that Pontiac. This time, though, Agnew's going to complete the pass, and the rookie passing the defending champion out of turn 4.
Well, Joey Logano with a great race car, but I think Shelby Howard, give him a call. That's a young man that's getting a lot of experience, showing very well here tonight.
Logano in his second Pro Cup race, and last night Rogers in only his second truck race. Coming home with an 8th place finish. Logano getting the job done, getting by the defending champion, and now Martin Nesbitt is able to just about complete that pass. And does so. So the track record holder here at Mansfield for the Pro Cup Series, Martin Nesbitt, advances the 88 car into the 6th position. Meanwhile, Jeff Agnew has worked his way around Shelby Howard, and we'll be right back. Jeff Agnew out front of the Mansfield 250, former leader here earlier tonight. Vinnie Gordon trying to work his way back to the front under caution. Caution out, 169 up on the scoreboard. Jeff Agnew slowing the field down as Jason Mignon. It's the 07 car straightened around and back underway. The Jugular Energy Drink Chevy slowing progress here at Mansfield as we go to caution once again. Looking forward to our next 5 races on the Pro Cup schedule. Southern Division action at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Northern Division action at Kilcare. The South Packet action at Hickory Motor Speedway. Add to it Motor Mile and Southern National Speedways. Jeff Agnew has 137 consecutive starts and is our Tucson Star of the Week.
I've been a race car driver for about 19 years. In 1998, we won the championship and Rookie of the Year in our first year. We did not win a race that year. We actually finished in the top 5, just about every race. That bothered us a lot. Now we're winning a few races. It's still really hard as far as the competitiveness of this series. It's gotten so big. I didn't really start playing golf until I started running the Pro Cup Series. And golf and racing are really competitive and really enjoy the game. I'm probably not as aggressive as far as using bumpers and things as I should be. We're going to go out every race to try to win every race. I drive 120% every lap of every race I'm ever in. Well, I hope when we quit racing that people will remember me by a good, friendly, nice guy that's pretty clean and raced as hard as he possibly could race.
And knowing Jeff Agnew the way I do, the way he drives a race car, he's not one that's going to lay up on the golf course either.
Not at all. 10 wins to his credit so far in his Hooters Pro Cup Series career for Jeff Agnew. Took him 54 starts to get to victory lane. By contrast, Mark McFarland has been knocking on the door, but he is pulled behind the wall. Problems for the 32. Steven is with him. Mark, what happened to the race car?
I think the alternator went out. It's the second time this year it's happened, and the battery goes dead, and motor starts missing. So we got a lot of homework to do. We'll get back to the shop and figure it out and come back next time.
Not quite a problem. Saturday night short track racing, you run right off the battery, but in a 250-lap event, you've got to have an alternator.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Marty Lindley with a strong move. Oh, we're going to get back to racing. Marty Lindley had just cleared Shelby Howard.
Looks like Logano now up alongside Marty Lindley. Lindley almost took a trip to the fence there as he and Howard were racing, and that left the door open for Logano to give it a try.
Yeah, I was watching Lindley's car, and the way it got so loose, I thought maybe his right rear tire had gone down from contact and stuff. But get back to the battery story. What happened? We have so many blowers, so many different things inside the car. You got blowers inside the car to keep the driver. You got brake blowers. You got rear end blowers. Everything trying to cool everything. You use up so much battery power. Batteries can't make it. You've got to have an alternator to keep that thing charged. And we just can't find stuff to finish these 250-lap races.
Joey Logano right now running in the top 5. Backed off from that challenge. He found it on the 16 of Marty Lindley. Got Martin Nesbitt on his rear bumper trying to work his way into the top 5. Meanwhile, up front, Agnew and Huffman right now just putting laps up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Huffman can do much with Agnew, but Marty Lindley had made a great move to get around Shelby Howard, and then the next lap, his car just got loose. So I don't know if he's fighting something on the right rear of that race car, but it looked great. It looked really fast through that corner.
Marty Lindley mounts another charge, is closed in on Shelby Howard and that smoked barbecue sauce Pontiac. Deeper in the field, well, not that far back, 7th position. That's where Benny Gordon has made his way back to, so the point leader putting the pressure on Martin Nesbitt right now, and here comes Lindley again to the inside of Shelby Howard.
Lindley really has a good race car. Now this time, if he can just finish his pass off, keep his car straight, I think he can drive away from the 20 car. But man, he can't afford to get loose like he did earlier.
Whoa,
whoa, whoa.
Contact for both. Howard, whoa, quick snap spin, but keeps it off the concrete. That could have been disaster for Shelby Howard. They have to get that car back underway before the leader. Agnew gets back around to put him a lap down. Let's take another look at it off into the corner, side by side.
Yeah, Marty Lindley got a little bit loose. You saw the back end of his car. That made contact. He was lucky to go straight. Logano dove down underneath him, and the 20 car, Shelby Howard, goes around. Nobody hits him. Quickie yellow.
Quickie yellow, and right back to racing. Logano now 3rd after quickly snapping the wheel to the inside and driving by that spin. Leader is Agnew. Huffman giving chase as they work down the back straightaway. 65 circuits remaining here at Mansfield Motorsports Speedway. Logano feeling the pressure from Marty Lindley as they work off of 4. Logano holding on. And for a 15-year-old to have a veteran like Marty Lindley all over your rear bumper, that's really got to have you rattled.
Well, what he needs to do is not look back. He needs to look forward and don't worry about it, but give a call to Benny Gordon. He did what I didn't think was going to even be possible. He's made his way all the way up to this lead group of cars, and it's been a tall order to pass some very good race cars.
Gordon right now just outside the top. Whoa! Nesbitt goes around. Gotta wonder, did they get together? A little nudge to the outside concrete for Nesbitt. And the 88 would go to caution, 12th time here tonight. Little damage to the right front.
Yeah, I know he was working real hard trying to get by Martin Nesbitt. We're going to get an opportunity to see another look, and, you know, it might be just a little bit of contact there.
Nesbitt limping away in the Ford and off into the corner. It's already underway by the time we see it. Spins around and a little nudge to the right front. That can knock the toe in out of the race car.
Yeah, well, you can bend ball joints, you can bend A-frames, so you got to be careful there.
As we head out, a look at your Miller Lite rookie rundown. The Mansfield 250 presented by Hooters Air. Gene Crane, Scott Sutherland, and Stephen Cox bringing you all the action here at Mansfield Motorsports Park with Jeff Agnew. Out front of the 73 car, let's take a look at your Lucas Oil recap of tonight's race. Lap number 1. On the break, Shelby Howard from the Advanced Auto Parts pole slides up the racetrack, takes the advantage away from Joel Coffin. Lap 29, Benny Gordon, the point leader, moves to the inside and bypasses Shelby Howard for the lead, bringing Shane Huffman with it. A cut tire puts Sam Falone to the outside concrete on lap 118. Behind him, more action as around goes Joe Gaeta and Eric Corbett. 140, lap number 140 into the corner. Little bumper and banging action, and Michael Rich goes to the spin cycle, winds up along the outside concrete. Lap 159. Jeff Agnew drives to the inside and will bypass Shelby Howard to take over the point. And on lap number 187, battle for 5th position sees Martin Nesbitt go in the spin cycle. He will make contact with the right front of that 88 car. That is your Lucas Oil recap to this point of the Mansfield 250 presented by Hooters there. Well, the pace car makes that dive onto pit road. Now, remember, these cars are in turn 2. Benny Gordon being motioned to the back of the field for his involvement. Suspected there might have been contact with Ian Nesbitt.
Yeah, race control feels as though there was a little bit extra contact to make Martin Nesbitt make that spin and bring out this caution. Therefore, that's a rough driving penalty sent to the tail at the longest line.
Benny Gordon now again a long way to work his way to the front as Jeff Agnew gets back underway, brings the field with him. Lap car, Johnny Rumley. Don't say that very often. Rumley having some difficulty here tonight.
Yeah, driving the Lucas Oil car, and his car's fast. He just wants to get back on that lead lap. Jeff Agnew squirted away from him. Now he'll have to wait, maybe get another chance if there's another caution come up.
Field working off of turn 2. Looks like Agnew got a pretty good jump. Put about 4, make it 5 car lengths over Shane Huffman. But this kid right here, Joey Logano, turned 15 years of age, had to wait till he was 15 to be able to even enter a Pro Cup Series race. Quickest one he could get to was Jennerstown. He ran that race 2 weeks ago. His second race is tonight. He's hardly even 15 years and a month old, and he's getting the job done, holding down third, and he's kept his nose clean. That's been the secret tonight.
Well, I think just staying out of position, put yourself in trouble. The rest of these guys are beating and banging. He's been pretty much clean the whole night. How about Joe Coffin? Trying to dig in and get that car back up to speed like it was earlier.
You were talking about beating and banging. That's short track racing, folks, and that's what this Hooters Pro Cup Series is all about. And Coffin really trying to put the pressure on Lindley, and Mike Laughlin Jr. sitting back and watching what's going on there.
And remember that Laughlin made that later pit stop, and he's working his way back to the front very nicely.
Look who's behind Laughlin.
I know, the old sir, he's coming. Glenn Galt trying to put it to these young guys.
Glenn Galt has made his way all the way back to 7th in the American Title and Trust Company Chevrolet, the Orange Blossom Special. It's on a roll. He's juicing it up and on his way to the front, too. This is going to be an exciting night.
Well, what Mike Laughlin Jr. has done remarkably, considering he made that later pit stop, got those 4 tires, and he's made his way very well back up through the field.
Laughlin able to point that car down just a little bit, and that battle has settled down. Kaufman has backed off of Marty Lindley a little bit, probably letting his tires cool and getting another run later in the event. Looks like the 20 car of Shelby Howard trying to deal with Tim Beatty Jr., the Grease Lightning Ford. They'll go by the 18 of Jeremy Miller. Shelby Howard trying to work his way back to the field. Remember, he and Marty Lindley got together over in turn 2. Howard went around. He's got 49 laps to try to make it up. He's got a long way to go, but he's already hustling and trying to dig through the field. Gets by Tim Beatty Jr. Joe Gaeta also in tow. Gaeta has been on pit road a couple of times. DJ Kennington and Glenn Galt going at it now. Galt now, oh! I saw some sparks there along the front straightaway right at the flag stand. I wonder if they made contact or if Galt made contact from the outside wall. Let's take another look.
Oh, yeah, look at the spark fly. That's using every inch of the racetrack to your advantage, and he got it.
Glenn Galt, despite a little brush with the outside concrete, holds on to the spot. Kennington not giving up, drives down low once again with Johnny Rumley a lap down, watching this battle as they go back to turn 3.
Kennington with a very good race car. Drive in on the bottom. He's going to be able to complete the pass, I think. Yes.
He does so. Little damage to the right rear quarter panel on the 17. That Pontiac of DJ Kennington certainly getting used for all it's worth here tonight. See, Benny Gordon has made his way back to 13th already. He's watching these laps click off and knows that he's got to get to the front as quickly as possible. Does he have enough time? A lot of good race cars still in the mix right now, and Gordon's got his work cut out for him.
And I think a very, very good point. A lot of good race cars. He used his car up pretty darn good the first time to get back to the front. I don't know if she's got enough under the hood to get her back to the front the second time.
Well, not only under the hood, but how much did he punish those tires, particularly the right side tires? Watch it live at Hooters, June 28th at 7 p.m. like Scott and I will. That's the Hooters International Swimsuit Contest. You can only see it live at your local Hooters.
How about Gary St. Amant trying to make his way? A lot of these guys have had to visit pit road too many times. Gary St. Amant, one of those, making some adjustments, trying his make his way back up through Mansfield, one of those racetracks, very difficult to pass on.
They tested here, looked like the hood was up, and they were adjusting the sway bar on that Jegs.com Chevrolet. St. Amant still looking for another trip to victory lane. He won 1 year ago at Lake Erie Speedway, where we'll be in 1 week with his Northern Division.
And I expect he'll be very fast when we get back over there. But he's got a good race car here tonight. It's just all about track position, fighting him again.
St. Amant trying to work on second place in points. A.J. Frank in trouble. Whoa, Joel Kaufman is shortened the back of that RMI Fabrication Pontiac substantially. Kaufman contacted the outside concrete, and Robbie Marhefka and the 12 car sitting down to the inside of turn 2.
Well, that was pretty good contact for Joel Kaufman. I don't know, a little bit of contact down in the corner. His car came around, backed it up in the fence. That's more than just a bumper cover.
Definitely going to be a clip put on the back of the 44 for Joel Kaufman. Well, look at your Tucson leaderboard as we head to break. Bunch of veterans with a rookie smack dab in the middle. Well, Joe Gaeta behind the wall, climbing out of the 42. Steven is there.
You know, Joe, before all that smoke and fire and flame and all that other stuff, you were on the lead lap. Looked like you had a halfway decent race car.
Yeah, we kept on adjusting on it all day. We come in the pits about 6 times. We hated to do it, but we finally got it, where it was drivable. And, we're going to hold our position, just try to get the most points we could. And, unfortunately for U.S. Insurance, Speedco Truck Lube, and Pointer Drywall, the motor expired, I guess the best way of saying it. So I'd like to thank Eddie Pardue for working on our shocks. Say hi to my wife, Robin. She couldn't be here today, but we'll be home tomorrow and, get ready for the next race.
Joe, talk about the weather. We've had some sprinkles. It's been extremely humid. You look tired.
Well, it is pretty humid out there. Our car's pretty hot. We don't have any vents in it. But I've seen worse, but it's very hot out there. I mean, I know a bunch of these guys are probably really sweating it out. Can't wait for these last 30 laps to get over with so they can get in here and get them a cold drink.
Well, Gator, to watch the rest of this one. 16 cars on the lead lap. A Logano sandwich in the top 5. Benny Gordon in the penalty box, and Jason Mignon is with Steven.
Jason, you almost made it to the end. What happened to your car?
I had a little bit of problems with brakes. Kind of had a lot of front brake in the car tonight. Maybe should have some less out or some little better ducking on there. Had to keep the paddle up, and we were hanging on there, even though it wasn't right. But, coming down in the corner, it seemed like just didn't have enough brake and just spun around on us.
Well, he had also an issue here as it was at Lakeland 1 week ago, and Joel Kaufman out of his race car, as is Danny Sammons, but Kaufman trying to recover. Looks like he's overheated a bit.
Yeah, I think just the time to just sit back, relax, reflect on the day. He had a very good race car all day long, just got caught up in one of those deals. It really wasn't his fault. But, hey, we got to go home and fix it. Get ready for next week, like you said.
Danny Sammons bringing his friend Joel Kaufman a cold bottle of water. And those two drivers, elements of that 1-2 finish at Salem last year, where the series will be in late July. From the pit box, teams and family members watching the action as we get set to go back to green. Jeff Agnew out front and less than 30 laps remaining.
Well, if you got anything left in your race car, and if you can get up on top of that steering wheel, now's the time to do it. The youngster in the middle of that deal, a lot of experience around him.
If you're the spotter, what do you tell a young man like that?
Follow the guy in front of you and just hang on, because you only got a little bit left. You know what the thing is? The young man's probably not been in these long type races. 30 laps is a whole race to them. So just hang in there. You're doing a great job. Try to finish this thing in the top 5 is remarkable.
Veterans with Logano in the middle, Agnew and Huffman. Former champions of this series on the restart. Agnew up through the gearbox, not able to pull at least more than a car length or two on Huffman down to turn 1. Looked like Johnny Rumley hustled it in there a little bit. The right rear wanted to swap ends.
Well, Johnny Rumley wants to get on that back on that tail end of that lead lap very, very badly.
Mike Laughlin Jr. sizing up Marty Lindley. That is 4th and 5th position. And just behind them, Kennington. That 17 car trying to put 2 top 5s together in as many races in the Pro Cup Series. Laughlin trying the high line, trying to find a way to rim ride around Mansfield and get by Marty Lindley.
But you got to be careful. Don't get up there too high like we saw earlier when Michael Rich got up there. The right side's got in the marbles and the car came around. Glenn Galt, go get him, Glenn. You're hanging in there.
Galt has got A.J. Frank all over that rear bumper, 2nd place in points. Frank trying to hold on as he was the point leader going into Jennerstown. Pretty good run after they've recovered from a run from all the way out back with a 45 car. The battle has settled down for the moment, and the leader is in trouble.
Whoa.
Agnew going around in turn 4. Saw the tail end of that. Well, got to suspect what might have happened there, Scott.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact. You know, they're both fighting for the same part of the racetrack. But what's remarkable is that Jeff Agnew went around, driver's side door exposed to the rest of the field, and they all got around him.
Neither did he get into the concrete, so Agnew able to continue on, but track position not to his liking now. Let's take another look at it. Agnew, your leader, going around, bringing out this caution and into the corner. Bump.
And I think Shane Huffman, what he was trying to do there is trying to get the car to turn, make a good move down. He went on around it. Logano found his way around with him as well. Joey Logano might be in the driver's seat.
Indeed he is. Logano is going to take over the lead. Huffman being motioned to the tail end of the longest line for his involvement. Logano kept the car off the back of the 81 in that crash and now has the lead.
You don't have to be the fastest race car to sometimes be in position to win races, and I think that's just what's happened here.
We'll be back to sort it all out here at Mansfield. Drama at Mansfield in Pro Cup Series racing. Logano, his second ever race, has driven around 2 incidents to put himself in the lead in the closing stages here at Mansfield. Let's take a look at the most recent incident. Down into turn 3, Huffman into the back of leader Jeff Agnew. Agnew around. Logano nearly collected Huffman. Both drive around, but Huffman to the back of the pack for rough driving. Agnew with a flat tire. Stephen Cox, what's happening down there?
Left and right side tires, but I'll tell you, take a look over toward pit wall. You'll see the flat tire that caused this pit stop for the guy that was leading this race.
Well, I saw him carry it around the car, and it was definitely flat, whether it was just before the spin or right during the spin when he had the tires locked up. What a tough break for Jeff Agnew, probably the best race car on the racetrack.
What a break for this young man, and what nerves and butterflies he must have. Rumley, the veteran, to the inside. Lindley, the veteran, right behind him. Restart. Joey Logano.
And he's got a tough one on the inside because Johnny Rumley's not going to give up easy. This might be his shot to get back on the lead lap.
Rumley trying to get on the lead lap. Logano stays to the high side. Rumley roughs him up just a little bit. Lindley thought about going down there. Laughlin all over Lindley. Wild shootout here in the closing stages at Mansfield. Rumley on the inside losing ground, and it is Logano stretching out. 3, 4, 5 car lengths in turn 3.
Well, you got to give it to Johnny Rumley. He thought he could shake the kid up and make a move and get him back on the lead lap. After about 3 attempts of it, he thought better of it and let him go.
Second place battle heats up again. Laughlin almost dive bombed to the inside of the corner on Lindley. Now Laughlin's got his bumper full of DJ Kennington. Kennington in 4th, trying to step up to 3rd.
And what about that next car behind him, the 32 car of Glenn Gall with a whale of a run tonight.
Galt has watched Logano advance his way to the lead and realizes that some of these cars get in trouble ahead of him. He may have the same opportunity. Off the corner, Kennington trying to work on Laughlin. Mike Laughlin Jr. trying to cover the inside groove, while Marty Lindley now able to scamper away in 2nd position.
Mike Laughlin made a heck of a move. We knew he pitted a little bit later than everybody else and drove his way all the way back, and now he's running 3rd with DJ Kennington all over the top of him. But there's only a handful of laps left. Can he hold on?
Front 2 cars scampering away. Right now the battle is for 3rd with both the 7 and the 17. Laughlin and Kennington going at it. Galt 5th, and just outside the top 5, you've got 6th place A.J. Frank.
Yeah, it's a good battle for him, considering how many times he's had to start in the rear. A.J. Frank, in that points battle, you want to get every position you can, especially when it gets down to the end of the race.
Kennington puts a fender, just a slight touch, to the 7 of Laughlin. Laughlin maintains the position. Kennington still trying to cut down to the inside off the corner. Mike Laughlin Jr., wide entrance, riding the high line, or what would be the high line on most racetracks, center of the racetrack here at Mansfield. But a higher line and holding off Kennington. Kennington tries it again off the corner, but meanwhile, Logano riding off into the sunset. Battle again, trying to heat up Kennington. He'll only have 10 laps to try to get it done. Working on the back of Laughlin. Meanwhile, Lindley, he had closed up a little different distance on Logano, but the difference is not going to be enough unless he can find a little more speed in that 16 car. That race right now is stabilized. This is where the race is right now for third. Kennington came home with third at Jennerstown 2 weeks ago, trying to do it again here tonight. Drives to the inside of Laughlin, tries to keep it down low.
Yeah, I think the trick here, though, is you've got to move the guy on the outside up. When you go down in the bottom, you've got to get right up next to him and actually touch them doors. That's how we've seen it all night long. Kennington's going to have to make a little contact and move Mike Laughlin up to get that job done.
Good, clean racing for third. Meanwhile, Logano sees Lindley looming large in that rear view mirror. Again, Kennington to the inside of Laughlin. You may have heard you, Scott. Tried sliding up a little bit, almost got into the back of the 7 car. Race back down into turn number 3. Kennington still a lower line. Lindley pedaling for all he's worth, trying to catch Logano. Time is running out, only 6 laps to go. Here is the 20 car. He's gotten by A.J. Frank. And your pole sitter, Shelby Howard, on the charge, trying to run his way back to the front.
Well, the front two have broken away, but what a clash we've got going on here between Mike Laughlin, DJ Kennington, just really getting after it. Looks like Logano has really pulled away now from Marty Lindley.
Starting to get physical for third position. Kennington looming right in that left rear quarter panel of Laughlin's number 7. Meanwhile, Glenn Galt's got his hands full with the 20 car. Off in the corner. Whoa. Kennington slid in there, almost got into the 7 car.
Wow, that's going to cost him 2 spots.
2 spots. Howard checked up for a moment. That lets Galt scamper away a little bit, put a little room between them. 3 to go for Joey Logano. Can he get it done here tonight? Youngest winner in Pro Cup Series competition, Brian Vickers, at age 16. He's got 4 wins in his Pro Cup Series career. Logano could beat that tonight if he can hang on. Only 2 laps to go for Joey Logano out of Alpharetta, Georgia. A.J. Frank going around in the 45 car, and caution is shown. A.J. Frank brings out the 16th caution of the night. Some damage to the right front of that race car. And this will cause a green, white, and checker finish. This is going to turn out to be a wild one.
Well, I think it is, because it's going to stack everybody up. The thing is, there won't be the lap cars on the left-hand side or inside you, so it's all single-file racing. It's going to be a good one.
We'll be back for the finish right after this. An unbelievable chain of events here in the Mansfield 250 presented by Hooters Air. And in only his second outing, 15-year-old Joey Logano finds himself at the head of the field. Here's how it happened. Huffman into leader Agnew. Huffman to the tail of the pack. Agnew to pit road. Logano set up and brings the field back to green with 20 to go. Then
watch where you're going. Get going. You're all right. Keep digging. He's there. You're all right. Dang, I bumped wheels with that 55, tell 45. I didn't mean to do that.
with checkers in sight, Logano sees a green-white checker restart and down on pit road.
Keith, is this the last thing you needed? How is the car after you come back off of yellow? Now, earlier in the race, you said you did not like it except under long greens.
Well, right now the tires are getting wore out, so the car's a little bit looser. But we didn't want to see this. He's doing so good, you know. We had a good cushion. So I got confidence in him. He can do it. Ain't but 2 laps.
15-year-old young man in his second ever Pro Cup race, Scott.
At 15 years old, I was planning my second Pro Cup race to be just like this. Joey, I'm going to go win the race. But you know what? I ended up beyond pit road with a blown-up motor.
On the start, Logano jumps out front. Here comes Laughlin. Laughlin and Lindley get together. Logano now with the advantage by 4, maybe, no, not even that, 2.5 car lengths. They're still battling for second. Here comes Gold to the inside.
Well, Marty Lindley got in there a little bit hot. Mike Laughlin got underneath him. They made contact. Glenn Galt's underneath Marty Lindley. He's got a run on him.
The veterans let the rookie Logano scamper away and through the final corners. And trouble at turn 3. Logano off the corner. He will win his first ever Hooters Pro Cup race in only his second outing. Big problems in turn 3 as they came to checker. Shelby Howard in trouble and several cars still trying to sort it out. over in 3 and 4. Howard back underway. The nose of his Pontiac used up, but a very happy crew on pit road, and Joey Logano on his way to victory lane.
You and I talked, Gene. This young man is 15 years and 18 days of age, and in only a second start has won his first Pro Cup race.
Puts his autograph on the front straightaway. We're coming back to hear from our winner.
This telecast of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters makes you happy. Miller Lite, the official beer of USAR. Miller Lite. Good call. Lucas Oil. Lucas Oil is the worldwide leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants. And by Jackaroo Sauce. Jackaroo, served in some of the world's finest backyards.
A final lap incident does not detour the outcome. Shelby Howard getting together with DJ Kennington, then a late hit with Woody Howard. But it was Joey Logano headed to victory lane, picks up his first ever win. Here he is out of the race car, and Stephen Cox on his way over.
And what a finish. It wasn't just a great race. What a finish. I want you to walk right over here. This guy, just a few weeks ago, turned 15 years old in your second start ever. What are the emotions right now?
Oh, man, that was the coolest thing I ever did. That was awesome. We didn't have a really good car in the beginning. Come in, made a really good pit stop. Came out past about 2 cars. Just kept picking them off, and, man, it was awesome, man. I'd like to thank my crew chief, Keith, and the whole team, you know, I mean, this is awesome.
I got to know what was going through your mind. I talked to your crew chief, Keith, and he said that you really didn't like the way the car was acting as soon as you came back off of a yellow flag. Then you get a yellow with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, we made a wedge adjustment when the pit stop, and, you know, it got a little better, but it's still really tight in the middle. And I was faster when I held it down to the bottom. So I held it down there, man. It worked good. It was awesome.
Did you see the 16 car try to get under you in turn 1?
Yeah, I saw him. You know, I had to keep it low, you know. I mean, he was really good the first 5 laps of his run, and after that, I could start sailing off. But, I mean that last 3-lap caution, green, white, checker thing, man, I didn't want to see that, but I'm glad we held him off.
Bobby Gill has 40 wins in this series. You better look over your shoulder, pal, because he just turned 15, and he's got 1 in the bag.
Joey Logano, also the Miller Lite Rookie of the Race, started 6th. Brings it home in first position for his first ever win. Take a look at our results here. Logano, Laughlin, Galt, 3rd here tonight.
Marty Lindley with a good fight tonight. DJ Kennington back down and having a good season this year.
Shane Huffman only able to recover to 12th. Tim Beatty Jr., 13th. We look down to the order. Good run for Jimmy Spencer tonight in the 36 car. Looking at the remainder of our running order. See Todd Peck, Martin McFarland, Eric Corbett, all these cars having some difficulties late in the event and some damage to repair there. Looking a little further down in the order, Jeff Oakley and Lonnie Rush. They will be credited with 34th and 35th position. Coming home second tonight, Mike Laughlin Jr.
You know, the real race for just a couple of laps wasn't for first place, it was for second, and this guy ended up winning it. Mike, you tell me about it.
Well, I'll tell you, Marty's a good racer. This short track racing, man, is what it's all about. Rough Marty up a little bit. Maybe would have run him just a little bit more clean. It wasn't anything really dirty, but caution before that, I had him trapped behind the lap car, and he just totally turned right on me. I could have turned him then and didn't back out of it, and had a little contact going down back straightaway, and we touched in the center corner. Man, this short track racing is what it's all about. Having fun. He may not feel the same way, but really we got kind of lucky tonight. We just stayed out of all the trouble and missed everything. I didn't really want anybody to know here on the radio, but we had brake troubles real bad. After qualifying, the right front caliper was leaking real bad on us, and didn't have a right front caliper the whole race. So lucky we got any fluid left, if we even do.
For brakes, we don't need no sticking brakes. The Degrees Lightning Blast the Pack Award goes to Benny Gordon. 5 lead changes he led for 98 circuits. Sharing the Hard Charger Award, DJ Kennington in the 17 machine, the Mr. Gasket Performance Group Hard Charger also. Hard Charger Award winner Glenn Galt, after a 23rd start on the field, comes home 3rd here tonight, and he is with Steven.
You know, Glenn, this one was a long time coming. I mean, this year did not start out the way you wanted it to. You guys earned this.
I'll tell you what, we really needed a good run. We needed a good, feels good.
we needed a good car. I mean, the car was good. It got tight, got real tight at the end, but as long as I keep it on the bottom, I had a lot of power coming off, and I could use it all. And my team really needed a good finish like this. They've been working awful hard, and they gave me a good car. It was really tight, but they kept talking to me, told me to keep it down. My mirror broke off with about 50 laps to go, so maybe that helped me out. They told me, we'll leave that mirror up from now on, so maybe it'll do me some good.
He's ran a lot of years without a mirror. Maybe that's the ticket. Go get him.
Smiling like a teenager with a third-place finish. Look at the point standings. Vinnie Gordon stays on top. A.J. Frank hangs on narrowly to that second position. Next race date, the Groucho's Deli 250 at Myrtle Beach Speedway Saturday night, June the 25th at 7:30. That's Southern Division action. And you can follow your favorite Pro Cup drivers on USARProCup.com, online and ready to bring you all of our action. Our thanks to Racing Electronics, provider of our racing communications, and to Best Golf Cars, provider of our at-track transportation. And to iCard, the official timing and scoring information system of the USAR. Onboard images bringing you the in-car cameras throughout tonight's event. And congratulations to our first-time winner, 15-year-old Joey Logano. For my partner, Scott Sutherland, Stephen Cox on pit road, I'm Gene Crane. Looking forward to seeing you next time.